Nice. Okay, let's get into it. So pause 3 replay. I guess before we start, is there anything like, really glaring or an area of weakness that you think is, most relevant?
I think it's more like knowledge stuff mostly, like just like knowing like when to get more aggressive and when not to be, and just kind of like understanding lane matchups a bit more.
Sure. So let's see. Who are you in this game?
I'm playing center.
Playing center. Okay, and you're with Dennis. Oh, this is your team almost.
Yeah, everyone except Sage is in
Okay.
this game. So.
Cool. All right, so you are against a Sven and Nyx or Veno. Do you know which one?
I don't remember. I want to say
No, I mean,
Veno.
doesn't really matter. Like, what did you know coming into the game? Like, did you think it was Veno? Did you think it was Nyx? Did you think it was Pango?
I think I would probably assume Veno first.
Sure. Okay, so you have an SD as your pause for.
Yeah.
All right, so how would you describe the Sven Veno SD Centaur
Okay,
lane?
okay. What's the stream quality so bad?
Yeah, it's gonna be shit for a little bit because I'm streaming, but it's not a big deal. It's like 8 pixels. But yeah. So how would you describe that? How's the lane gonna go? Test test. Hello.
That's fine.
Can you hear me? I'm not sure you can hear me.
I think my internet died for a second there.
Oh, okay.
Because my Steam went offline.
Oh shit. Can you hear me? Alright. Don't think we can hear.
All right. I think it should be good now.
You're back?
Yeah.
Alright. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Internet's good?
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, so I just want you to kind of describe how you think the lane is going to go. Let's assume you're against a Veno Sven.
Assuming we're against the Veno, I think our intention with picking the Shadow Demon Center was kind of like you have a nice setup, so you have like a lot of kill potential.
Sure, yeah.
Because like Shadow Demon can just disruption, and then you get an easy stomp, and you can vomit all his poison, and you can hit him.
I agree, yeah. So you're lane, so that's kind of how you think the lane's going to go?
Yeah, so basically we were thinking, okay, if Veno's like ever like out of position, we can usually kill him because Veno's not a very tanky hero, also a slow hero. Especially if he doesn't have Gale down, then
sure. So I think that's a pretty good like that. So what you're describing is, I would consider that like an option of how the lane is going to go, but like there's gonna that's like your approach to the lane or your strategy to the lane. But there's gonna be an objective, like say an observer looking at this, like let's say 5 minutes from now, an observer just looking at the lane, how would they describe how the lane have gone? Not in this particular game, but with like just generic players on these heroes. How does
usually,
a Sven Veno match up against a Centaur SD? What does your heart tell you?
Oh, like in general?
Yes, in general.
I think it should be Centaur Shadow Demon favor.
Sure.
Because like you can get hit with Gale and you're slowed 50%, but like Sven doesn't pump out a lot of damage at this point.
Sure.
Especially not on a hero like Centaur. But
cool. I think that like identifying that like the kill potential in the lane is super important. You guys for sure have more kill potential. For me, I think that there's a couple dynamics of lanes that are really important, and one of the major, like, kill potential is a major dynamic of a lane. Lane shove is what I consider to be more important. So a lane is going to have like abilities from the heroes that contribute to pushing the lane out to some extent, right? On Centaur, you have return, retaliate, and double edge, and hoof stomp, all AoE damaging abilities. Shadow Demon, you have shadow poison stacks. Veno has Gale. This is actually a core Veno or something. Is it? No, it's not. It's support Veno. And then Sven, you have cleave and stun. So you have 4 heroes with the ability to shove the lane, and like So I would describe this as like basically like AOE. I think the AOE component of like this lane defines the lane more so than the ability to kill people, because like you're not really going to kill this Sven. I'm assuming people are playing like optimally. This Sven is like super tanky. He's going to have a shitload of armor. He actually has a magic stick, which is a pretty good like protection thing against this SD.
Yeah, against Shadow Demon.
And you shouldn't ever kill this Veno, because like the Veno probably knows that he'll die, so he shouldn't really come into like kill range. But whatever, mistakes happen. And like you said, you can't die here. So how can you influence the lane? And I would say pushing and pulling. That's probably how I would see this lane going. This is going to be a battle between the Sven and the Centaur and the Shadow Demon to push the lane. The Sven's going to try and pull the creeps back. He's going to try and deny the range creep, and then he's going to try and shove the lane, and Veno's going to try and pull. And you guys are going to do the exact same thing. You guys have more kill threat, so you can kind of play more aggressive. So it's going to be for sure your so Centaur and SD are going to push the lane, and then SD is going to pull. And I think that's how I would anticipate this lane going. I wouldn't think about killing until like level 3 or level 4, especially once SD gets 2 levels in Shadow Poison.
Right.
Then maybe you get a point in Double Edge or something. Like that's going to be your window to kill people.
Yeah.
So thinking about, I think the reason I asked this question of like how do you think the lane's going to go is super important. Like you need to have, like you're already doing it, you're already planning, in the event that the Veno gets out of line or the Sven gets out of line, let's kill him. That's for sure important to establish. But then it sounds like you're not considering the the next level, which is the lane equilibrium and the push and pull of the creeps and your spells. Do you ever consider lane pushing as a native feature of a lane?
Not really a point of laning, but more kind of like that when the pause 1 rotates out and then your team's trying to take the tier 1 tower in their safe lane.
Mm-hmm.
Is mainly when I consider it, because
Gotcha.
you're oh, if I'm playing Slardar or something, I can't as easily go behind the tower and cut a wave easily, so my wave is just hitting the tower.
Mm-hmm.
But as someone on Centaur or Axe, where you can easily tank it and spin or retaliate it down, it's pretty easy.
Totally. And when you have those types of heroes, you really need to be using that advantage. So in this lane, instead of my strategy being this kill potential, because you guys do have a kill potential, let's not ignore that fact. But I think that your lane shove is more important. And so what I would say is your strategy should have been in this game, shove the lane as much as you can and pull. And that's gonna net you more of a win, because you're gonna get levels faster than the enemy pair. And then once you have that level advantage, once you have an item advantage, then you can start going for kills.
Right. Yeah, I see what you mean, because then if we shove and then pull and then they want to contest it, then we still have the stronger lane.
Yeah, and
so we can just kill them if they try to contest.
That's another great point. In order to set up that kill, let's set it up instead of just hoping that the Veno's out of position. Let's force him out of position.
Right.
So we're just going to look through the game here. I'm going to look at through your player perspective. And the goal here is to kind of give you 2 or 3 items that so this is a good play. Nice.
Yeah, here we weren't sure if we would kill him, but we were we can get good damage on Venom. We forced a salve, so that's a salve Sven won't have.
If you guys body blocked, you would have killed him for sure.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. We're I got galed and they didn't really have much else they could do.
You're so tanky.
Yeah, so the big point of Veno, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Or at least Veno 5.
So I think the Bracer's a good purchase. I think the Wand's a good purchase. I think that if you think you have a pretty favorable lane, which right now they're killing you in CS, but you don't have, the creeps haven't died yet.
That one was just a bit of a miscommunication.
It's
where
always gonna happen. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. Like, you know, we're just looking for, like, I don't really care what's happening in the game. Like, what I'm trying to look for is, like, strategic decisions that, like, are poor.
Just like the fundamentals. Less
exactly.
Like your buttons better, because
yeah.
Usually people know when they hit their buttons.
Essentially, yeah. Like, you know, if you hit this stun, like, you'll know if you hit the stun. Like, I don't need to tell you you missed the stun.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously a better player would have hit the stun, but then, like, you know, a better player probably would have been laning with a better player who wouldn't have hit you know, that disruption.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're getting beat in the CS domain. So I want to kind of look and see, like, why are you losing CS, and why does this Sven have so much CS? So here's the lane. So, like, you know, you actually have, like, a pretty big advantage, I would say, over the Sven in terms of last hitting ability, at least early. Mostly because you're more threatening.
Right.
Like, the Sven shouldn't feel comfortable walking up into the lane. And so right now I'd say you're definitely probably getting outplayed by this Sven a little bit. So I want to try and think about that, because yeah, it definitely looks like this Sven is, like, you know, he's a better CSer than you. I'm just gonna look a little bit more, but we'll try and figure it out. So this Sven is playing really up on the wave, and him and his Veno are kind of like chilling together. Where you guys are going for kills. That's kind of your priority, is like going for these kills. But the Sven is doing what I was saying, where like he's actually just trying to, like, you know, focus on the lane, focus on CSing. You know, he's not really worried about killing. And, you know, like, for sure the Sven right now is winning this lane. He has 1,600, you know, there's almost 1,700 net worth, and you're at 1,400. So he's starting to pull away. He leaves the lane. He just says, I'm fucking peaced out.
He chased my Shadow Demon a bit there.
And I mean, his Venom's probably really back, and he recognizes that, okay, I'm going to die if I chill here. And he goes to pull. And hopefully your SD disrupts the pull, which it does look like. Okay, so now you're going to come back. And the Sven comes back. So that trading is really good, and now your CS is probably equal, if not greater. Yeah, so now you're number 1 CS. So essentially what you've done is, like, invested in this, you know...
So yeah, now at like this point, it kind of felt like, now that I'm like level 4, I got like my Bracer and my 2 levels in Retaliate, I can like just play a lot more up. Because I can just like start hitting the Sven in lane, and then he's either going to hit me and take Retaliate damage, or...
Totally.
Just like...
It's like a timing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I would say that the lane got really good for you. So this was definitely a good move. But, like, you were losing the lane up until the creep equilibrium hit your tower. I don't think you did anything active to do this. I think the Sven just pushed the lane in, and then the Veno didn't pull.
Yeah.
So... like, the most important element to a lane is where it is, right?
Right.
So it's pretty fortunate that the lane ended up here. So this Sven kind of griefed himself, and the Veno kind of griefed too by not, like, you know,
pulling early.
Yeah, not pulling exactly. So, like, it's really good that you leverage this advantage, and, like, you're staticking the lane here. You're keeping the creeps, like, you know, this is really good play, like, keeping the lane here. So
yeah,
you know, I still am lacking something from this first wave. I'm still okay. Do you creep drag? Let's see.
I'm pretty sure I do here.
So the Sven creep drags. You then threaten this guy here. You hit it. You'd get the deny here. That's pretty good. Sven tries to kill both of you with the CS. Or with the hammer. This is really good play. You're playing up front. Okay, so all right, right here, this is a good opportunity to help you win the lane. So whenever you see like just melee creeps after the ranged creeps have died, this is an opportunity for you to force like the creep equilibrium. Like you now can influence it, and this is something that like is going to be the next level of your progression. Is really in your laning, making sure that you are influencing where the creep's equilibrium is. So what you should have done is, as soon as you notice the lane in this state, where like you have 3 creeps and no range creep, and same thing here, what you're going to do is basically right about here, instead of like manning up on the creep wave and like influencing the Sven's last hitting through here, you're gonna give up these 3 CS and just creep drag the enemy creeps all the way to here.
Okay.
So the benefit is that like as soon as you see that you can do this, you should 100% do it. You should just like his creeps, because they're closer to his tower, like they have his creeps have 2 options. They're your creeps, but I'm considering them his. These radiant creeps, they're either going to aggro on the Sven and get killed under a tower, or they're going to like hang out with your creeps and follow you to the next wave.
Okay.
Or he's going to like aggro them and take some damage, right? All 3 of those things are a favorable situation. There's no like negative. Like hit this, get this deny, and then start creep dragging. It's going to take 2 or 3 tries, right? You're going to have to aggro him, and then you're going to have to like drag the creeps back, and then they're going to leash away from you, and then you have to aggro them again, and you just do it like 2 or 3 times until the creeps are about here.
Right.
So that like you really need to be thinking in the laning phase, like how can I get a favorable position in the lane? Because obviously, once you do get that favorable position, the Sven ends up leaving this range creep alive for the entire game, or for this entire lane situation. So now he has 2 range creeps. It's pushing. It's wonderful. So like you have this kill threat, which is a really good way to play the lane, but it only is really going to benefit you when you have the lane here.
Yeah.
So if you have kill threat but you're up here, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, because we're under tower.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, this is sick, right? Once you identify you're in a good spot, you're good to go. But it's now probably the next level is going to be, how do I influence the game so that I can have the creep wave in a good spot. And so what I was saying earlier is let's shove the lane, and you brought up the point of when you pull, you might bring the enemy support over so you can just kill him. This is perfect. You're gonna dumpster this Sven. This Sven probably won't lane after this death anymore. Definitely need to. Is this in the camp? Yeah, it is. So you guys have blocked this camp, and that's a pretty big grief.
Right. Yeah. Because we just want to.
You want to pull it exactly. The only time you want to block a pull is when you think that it's going to be, advantageous for the enemy to have that camp. And in this situation, it's definitely not advantageous because you have lane shove. That's basically the biggest factor in terms of do you pull or do you not, is can you shove the lane. And if you can shove the lane, then you want to pull. Nice. You guys get really good to start fucking people up. This is typical centaur bullying. Alright, so right here, this would be a good opportunity to pull. Hopefully, I think he's denied this creep wave. I like this play too. This is smart.
What roles do you normally play actually?
I play 1, 5, and 3.
Okay, so I was just wondering, like on Centaur, is there like scenarios when you should? I think normally the build nowadays is you go like 1-1-4-1 once you're 7. Is there like scenarios when you should max hoof stomp over double edge or double edge over hoof stomp?
Hoof stomp's only going to be good if you have a fast blink dagger, and chances are you're not going to retaliate is meant for farming.
Yeah.
Double edge is also meant for farming, and hoof stomp is meant for like team fight, and it doesn't actually scale all that well. So, I would probably say never. Like hoof stomp. Okay. The only time you could probably hoof stomp over retaliate if you have like a really good lane, and you really need a blink dagger to influence the game. So like let's say, but I mean even still, like a blink dagger is not very effective at influencing the game, especially compared to like a vanguard. You're going to be able to create way more space with a vanguard than you are with a blink dagger. So chances are never. I mean, I think Hoofstuff should probably like. Do you always max it last?
Yeah, pretty much always.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good play. Now,
I really like just kind of being able to, with like max retaliate, max double edge.
Yeah.
I can like walk up to a wave, and then if I double edge it and they hit me once, then it dies like immediately.
Yep.
So if they were pressuring somewhere else, I can like, I don't know, walk up to their tier 3 or whatever, take the wave, and then
right here.
They'll usually rotate a couple heroes in just because they're like, ooh, there's this guy out here.
Yeah.
And then that just gives space when I like pause 1 or 2 trying to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's sometimes you can just max double edge first. Like, if you really want to smack people. Even so many people just TPing up here. It's really weird.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so I think your laning, at least this lane, it went really well. Like, really good. You identified, you had some kill threat, and I think that we can definitely show some improvement in how to manage the lane equilibrium. So I think there's 2 things there that are like homework assignment is going to be like, when you have an opportunity to shove lane, like prioritize that in the early part of the game and build up an advantage by pulling. And then the second component is going to be those creep drag mechanics to bring the lane, at least there's other tools to bring the lane to right here. Like that's your entire goal, is to bring the lane here. So let's think about your mid-game sort of efforts. When I see Centaur in my game, I do not want my Centaur to jungle. I want my Centaur to play in a dangerous part of the map for the most part, and I want them to make space. So I just want to like hover over you, and I want to see how much space you're making. How much are you in the jungle versus how much are you shoving a lane and forcing an enemy reaction. Right now you're kind of responding to this axe, which this axe is doing quote unquote a better job than you, because you're playing in like your side of the map.
Right.
And like even this death, right? This death may seem, like not a good move on the Axe's part, but it's actually pretty good, because you would like want to be pressuring this Sven right now. You would want to be have the Sven like literally just like leave and not hit camps. So this Axe dying over here isn't really that big a deal, because he took like 4 people. It was 4 people. I don't know. So it's 2 people at least, plus the Warlock, and Shadow Demon comes over. This is just free farm for the Sven now, right? So, let's go back to here. So this Axe, okay, he TP's up here. I don't know if you kill him. Maybe you don't.
I don't think we did, just because I think we'd extended most of our...
Sure, yeah. And he's pretty tanky.
Yeah, so, like he's the Vanguard too. So.
Okay, so after this play, you kind of respond to this Axe and play top, and you don't need to be doing this. So okay, first off, right here, you should probably just go back to base. Like whenever you're this low, like essentially you're useless, and we can prove that by saying like you're really afraid of this Axe, right? As soon as he walks up, you're like, all right, I'm fucking out of here. Like all you're doing is retreating. So like, let's think about when we, when did I say go back to base? Right here at 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So like, let's look at the next time. So like, when were you capable of like doing anything? So you hit 1 CS there. It's already 11 minutes. Okay, you hit, there's another CS. A couple more. So like you've hit like 6 CS in a minute and a half. Now it's like, so it's pretty inefficient, right?
Right.
So probably what you should have done is, at this point, like when you're low, just go back to base. You have a TP, you still have impact on the map because of the Stampede thing. So like, don't be afraid to go back to base when you're not like, you know, in tip-top shape. Maybe you like fly out clarities or something, but like, you know, you really want to maximize like how much you can do things. Another alternative would be, instead of this axe like, you know, coming and pressuring you and then you kind of like retreating, you can kind of do the opposite, which is, instead of going back, like go deeper. And that's also going to be space. Like, you know, grab this creep wave, like bring it here, kill this shit, kill this camp, and then, you know, kill the creep wave again. Like, you really want to, like, as much as what this axe is doing to you, you can actually do it to him. You can just go farm all of his camps. And then, you know, what is he going to do? Like, he's just going to chase you around and battle hunger you and try and smack you? Like, you know, you're probably going to live through that. And then you're taking up a lot of his time because now he's chasing you.
Right.
Probably not homework, but like, you know, this is just like, just thinking about mechanisms to like be more impactful. And I think that this lack of clarity, lack of TP, like you've had like 3 minutes now to bring out a TP, bring out a clarity. So now we get it. A little faster on that would have definitely been better. Okay, so the axe is dead now. We know the win condition on this team is this spend. So how can we, you know, do something? How can we be effective? And how can we minimize and, like, you know, pressure their enemy carry? This is good. This is really good. You see people mid, so you pressure this tower. You know, I would take it one step further and definitely go to the tier 3 here and like force TPs.
I think I'd do that when the creeps on.
Nice. That's sick.
Yeah.
And then from here, I wouldn't even bother attacking this tower, especially now that the Pango comes. So the best way to kind of like pressure a Sven isn't necessarily to kill him. It's to just kill the things that he would have wanted to kill.
Right.
So like invade his jungle and literally just farm it. So when you're in this jungle, you know, like if you come back, I guess they had vision on you or something. But when you're in the enemy jungle, like take all these camps. Take them all. That's going to take away, like, this Sven is probably going to try and farm triangle, and then he's going to farm these 4 camps.
Right.
That's his optimal farming pattern.
What need have I for invisible?
Right, good. We're mid. We're alone. Hitting this tower is cool. Okay, nice. We're going over here. This is good. You're drawing attention. Your team's not playing with you. That's not your fault. These guys are just bad. They should 100% be mid with you. Nice. This guy comes in. He has his orchid. Nice.
Get the double kill.
Let's get back. Fucking hit this tower. Let's go. You're tanky. You got Shadow Word or something? Yeah, there's a Warlock. Perhaps you should be positioned in the trees over there. Okay, so you've just forced 4 people mid. You shouldn't, like, we don't have Warlock ult. We don't have like 100%. We don't have central. We don't have all of our cooldowns. So when we're not strong, we shouldn't be like running headfirst into them.
Yeah.
If you want to take this tower, you're first going to have to draw attention elsewhere. So when after I see people TP mid, we can say, okay, they don't have a TP. They're in the mid lane, so it's definitely a really flexible mechanism for they can walk here if you attack this tower. They can walk here if you attack this tower. But for the most part, now that they've TP'd mid, I want to draw them to the side lanes. So if I was you, you know, hopefully this guy has a smoke, doesn't have a smoke, doesn't have a smoke. I'd probably just, like, you know, walk up to here. I'd probably ignore this creep wave necessarily because, like, it's near my tower, and I never want to be near my tower. I always want to be pushing, you know, and pulling attention towards the enemy's base.
Right.
So let's see what you do.
Stupendous.
A stack's fine, especially because your storm's top. This is good. You get the SD. You know, I think they're okay. Get rules. Oh shit! This guy's farmed. Let's see if we can hit it. Oh yeah, let's go. Nice, easy kills, easy tower. Just go ram your face at this thing. The storm's coming in the back line. Hit that central. Let's go. This is a great play. Like, you know, I think now you just want a team fight. So like really ping and be like, fucking hit this tower. Like they can't. Like, your team is being so passive. As soon as you win a team fight, you're like, fucking, you know, I'm out of here. So like, your team just threw here. You were making the right play, but you know, it ends up being the bad play, and you end up looking like the feeder, which is kind of
Right.
stupid. But like, fuck,
Yeah, and then we. Yeah, I think after that we were like, all right, we can just like wait for our ultimates and stuff because we used Golem to kill the Pangolier there. So
I don't know if he bought back. I guess he just is small or is low. So I think you're doing a great job, like sitting this mid lane. You're recognizing that this is the tower that needs to die. Yours is like extremely useless, and like this guy should not be down here. He should be up here, crushing this tower.
Yeah.
You get the blink, nice. You know, I actually don't think the blink is necessary here at all, and I think it's kind of a waste of 2,200 gold, where you could have invested into like part of a pipe, or you know, some like halberd or something like that.
Right.
Reason being is you already have a storm, so you already have backline catch. You already have you know, centuar ult, which is, you know, like super like mobility, and they have a Veno who's, you know, gonna drop a plague ward.
Oh, yeah.
And your blink is done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, it's still a good item. It's blink dagger is never the worst item. Okay, nice, easy.
Yeah, I definitely think I fall into like item traps where it's like kind of like, oh, you always go like blink dagger on like axe and centaur, or just kind of like stuff like that, where normally I'll get my like 1 or 2 items that I consider like necessary before I like start actually thinking about items. Like I'd be like, oh, I'll get blink dagger, but then like maybe I'll go Atos or something for their void spirit or storm or whatever.
That's good.
If we needed a way to deal with them.
This fight was pretty good. You know, definitely stayed a little bit too long, but whatever. You guys had pretty good impact. You know, so I think it was a bit of a grief to try and take this tower, especially when like your ults were down. I'm pretty sure they were, no, maybe they weren't down.
I think we used it in like that engagement.
Yeah,
but
maybe your ults were up. Okay, so you kill the axe. And like, I guess you have everybody here, but like, tier 2s are hard to take, man. Like, tier 2s are really hard to take. So are you in good positioning? Yeah, like this is a good kill on this guy. Alright. And like, I guess you still have your ults. There's 2 dead. So like, it makes sense. There's people here. You know,
yeah, and then like Sven and them TP in, so.
Versus like, so he needs to back now. Ursa should leave. Your storm needs to leave. So yeah, the fight's over now. But this is typical Dota, right? Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you just greed a bit and get punished for it.
Yeah, like this will happen to OG. So.
Do you wanna switch it to network charge?
Sure,
Kind of like see game state.
Your Ursa is not a good player. He's had a free game this entire time, and so if any sort of issue are coming in, like it's gonna be this Ursa. Like if you don't win this game, you're playing good. Like you're pressuring this mid tower, and like this is the play you should be making. I think you should. Be
what's the HP on the mid tower?
Like super low.
Do you think it would have been better if you want to go back like 30 or so seconds if I should have just like base tanked the tower a bit so it died, or?
Yeah,
or would that have been like
right here? Yeah. Right here, I would have done that.
Like, yeah, because I'm at like full or basically full.
You got Warlock behind you, you have SD behind you, like 100%. You can also make like SD illusions and take this tower. Like these guys are doing a good job of taking it. What'd you say, sorry?
Or at least the retaliate thing. Like,
From
I guess the
illusions?
illusions can attack it, but it doesn't work with
Oh, really?
illusions anymore.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I remember because it used to be a thing, and
shit.
Alliance kept picking Centaur or Shadow Demon just because you could summon illusions and take any tower.
Yeah, here for sure. Smack it, tank it, whatever. Oh, your team leaves though, so like that's a good call to leave. And like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you can kind of see why the blink is going to be a little bit bad.
It just felt like so frustrating this game because like it felt like 4 heroes were always just like camping their mid tower, which like I guess is kind of what we want, but like it just felt annoying.
That's what they want too. They want that too. They like, I mean, the Sven is going to be Ursa like eventually.
Yeah.
So like, you need to. So like, if you ever want to take a mid tower, like it's a really easy process to do, because it's going to be fairly predictable how the enemy is going to structure their defense. They're going to have tanky people up front, and they're going to have weak people in the back. So, what is the knowing that, what would you suggest? How would you?
It would probably be like me and Storm, or specifically in this game, jumping like one of the weaker people in the backline just to get them out of the fight.
And how would you accomplish? Like, what is your strategy? What do you say to your team to say?
Probably smoke.
Smoke, yeah. So you need to smoke, and then you need to come up from high ground, or this one too. This is probably be better, like to get your team and smoke this way, because Sven is going to be farming in the jungle, and then you place a ward back here. So anytime you want to, and this is a support thing though. This is not like you can definitely say, especially as a captain, hopefully you're shot calling, but like if you want to take this mid tower, like it's super easy to do. Like okay, especially after this kill, like you got this Venom kill. This is not more important than this. Like this mid tower is more important. So I mean, like as the captain, hopefully you're shot calling. You should definitely say, whatever. Yours he's a fucking. I don't know why he's here. like I don't know why he's here, but like you guys should be hitting this tower right now. And then beyond that, when you guys are mid and doing stuff, like this is an easy smoke. Okay, so they smoke here, and they kill whatever. Yeah, go fucking hit this tower now. You guys, you have a DD. Hit the tower. Whatever. So once you're rezzed, like even buy a smoke. Like I don't care. Like if I'm a carry and I want to smoke, I buy a smoke. If I'm a carry, if I want wards in this particular area, I buy my wards. Like right here, right? Fucking dude, just use blink. Like smoke, wrap up here. Get vision, drop a ward right here, and then like this Nyx, this Veno, they're dead. The Pango's dead. They're all dead. Axe is gonna be at the front, and he may counter initiate, but whatever. At least he went for a play. So no, you're 100% doing the right thing. You're prioritizing this tower. Like, if you also think about it right now, you are taking the farm away from 3 players.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Where like, it's annoying that all 3 of them are there, but like it's also good because I mean like Axe is getting wave farm and stuff, but like even Pango's here now, and Sven's just kind of floating about. But I guess it's near time, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, is when your whole team is here. Yeah, so like, that's a good play. Hit the back line. Your Storm is definitely good at executing, like in these fights.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know him. He's a good player.
He's on your team.
But he's a bit tiltable. But
hey, don't say bad things. He's gonna watch this video. You gotta praise him.
I mean, he knows this. he knows my take on it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just
act
chart, I guess.
Tower more. That's basically it. And I've already done the coaching session with him. Okay, so here's a good example of like how to help your team. So versus Roshing, anytime anybody is hitting an objective, you want to encourage that and you want to be with them. So definitely don't farm if yours is Roshing. Protect this. This is like the most important thing in the game right now is getting this Aegis.
Yeah, I think we let Axe get the Invisiren, which is a bit scary. Yeah. But like for some reason he didn't like put 2 and 2 together, but me and Warlock kind of floating about. So
cool.
But yeah, I think it would have been really bad for us if like you scattered out our Roshing. We'd probably just kill the Ursa there and then we can't finish it.
What's your MMR?
Like 38, I think.
Okay. And you're playing in the fluffy hat totally because you want to get better. Do you have any goals?
I've been floating around like one game in Ancient and then like losing a couple and like making it back. So I mean, hitting Ancient would be fun.
Cool.
Although I don't play like solo rank super often. Usually it would either be like party ranked or just like kind of like fluffy hat games as well.
Sure.
So.
Is there a reason that you don't like solo rank?
Not like a huge reason. It's kind of like just like a time commitment thing.
Sure.
So like I work like fairly often and my sleep schedule is kind of dog. And like normally I have a lot of friends playing Dota, so I'd rather just like party with them. Or there's just like other games I'm like feeling at the moment.
Gotcha.
Instead of solo queuing.
how many heroes are in your hero pool? That's another question.
All right, hold on. Let me whip out the hero list. I'd say off lane, I can play Axe, Brewmaster, Centaur.
Okay, so let me rephrase. How many heroes do you actually play?
Do I actually play?
Yeah.
Do you mean like in pubs or like would be comfortable picking in like a grand finals fluffy hat game?
So you're trying to gain MMR, right? So I mean, I just mean in general, like in the games
trying
you
to gain
win,
MMR.
In the games you want to win, so either you're in a ranked and you're trying to win, or you're in a fluffy hat or like a league, like. What do you tell your captain, or you, like what is your hero pool in those games when you're actually trying to win?
When I'm trying to win, I would say Centaur and Night Stalker Axe are probably like the big three for like just.
And like... so if I looked at your Dota buff, I'd see mostly Centaur, Axe, and Night Stalker.
Yeah, mostly. Cool. I've been playing a lot of ability draft lately, so like not really, but.
You've been playing a lot of what, sorry?
Ability draft.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, well, that's good.
But yeah, I play a lot of those heroes. Kind of, not really. Right, I played a lot of Night Stalker in like the last year, probably.
Okay. So you're trying to set up to kill this tower. That's what you've identified next, or as like your next objective. Your Ursa has a fresh beak AV. Your Storm has a fresh Bloodstone. How the fuck do you lose this fight? Is my question. So I'm gonna go player perspective. You already have all these towers down. You have Warlock ult is not up, but it's up in 5 seconds. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so as a pause 3, like typically you are frontline, right? So right now, what you have done is you have made your Warlock and Storm frontline, and your Shadow Demon. So like definitely like this is a 50-50 fault thing. Like you are to blame as much as your supports for them being out of position. And I'm not sure if they are out of position, like if it's exploited, but like
I don't think it is.
Radiant, like this is a bit of a grief, like what you're doing right now. So yeah, like they scan, they see you, like you need to be standing here. Like this is where you need to be standing. You need to just be standing on the high ground, waiting for like motherfuckers to come up. So by going to this tower, right? Like you're like optimally you want to put yourself between your backline and the enemy, right? So like you need to be super conscious of that at every single moment in the game. Is you are the buffer. You are the big barrier between the enemy damage and your fragile, weak people. Right. You're their shield essentially, and you need to position yourself like that nonstop. So like if you see your team here, like you are either spam pinging them to get the fuck back because you have another priority, you have another objective. Maybe you've identified that you can't take a fight right now, and so you're making that call. Or you're like, trying to take this tower, in which, you're then spam pinging. You're saying, we're fucking taking this tower, get off the high ground, we can't do it right now. Or you're telling Ursa to go take this tower, and then you're still standing high ground.
Right.
We'll go into another replay of mine, and I'll show you what I mean, and show you like how effective that game is, or that style of play is. So like, here you are, right? You're doing the right thing. The Storm is currently doing... Like he's doing the right thing, but another thing. Like he should be doing this kind of, like if everybody's high ground. But being by himself is pretty shit. Your Ursa also went all the way fucking back to the wave to clear it instead of like you cutting. So like what you need to do is if you're trying to take this tower, right? Let's see what happens. So Sven comes down here. He shoves his lane. Okay, first off, kill that fucker. Like you see him TP down here, kill him. So you've identified that this tower is the next thing to kill. You need to stand here. You need to just stand behind it, and then it's a fucking tier 1 tower. Just go kill it. So like this play, you know, from you is fairly indecisive, I would say. It looks like you want to secure triangle, you want to go and take this tower. Your team says let's go mid, but you're like, no, what the fuck, we don't have any Aegis or shit. And then you're just thinking, okay, let's kill this tower, right? I think you come down here. I don't know what you're doing, but like, you know, like let's be super fucking fast and let's play quick. So just say, here's my next objective, we're doing it. If it's standing up here and waiting for people, if it's killing this tower, I don't care. So I think this is why you guys lose this next team fight. It's because it takes you like 4 minutes to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, and then by that time, they've like kind of mustered a bit of a defense.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, we take the tower, and then I think they just TP in. And then we like go in. See, like I see Sven TPing, and then I'm like, oh, my it said other people had already TP'd, so my stomp timing was off, which is why I canceled it twice. See, we get a big golem off. Do we get the fatal bonds? I don't think we got fatal bonds.
So your Ursa just dies, which is like a good play from them. Alright, with Ursa dead, back. Everybody get the fuck out. I think you stay around a little bit, but no, you're probably dead anyways. Hopefully your storm leaves. Okay. So let me go to my Medusa game. That's like, oh, it's so long ago, but I think I have the replay. And then we'll end it here. I think it's this win. No, not this win. All right, we're going deep. Yes.
What's your opinion on like the centaur shard and like kind of more like shards in general? Because like I feel like I might overvalue them a bit in getting them. Like, is there any shard that's out there that's like 20 minutes you like and need to buy it like right away, or at least on offlaners?
I'm not sure. Do I have a blade mail this game? Yeah, I do. Okay, cool. What? Oh no, it's not there. What the fuck? I could have sworn. So offlane, I mean, if you're gonna go that carry axe build, that's obviously the #1.
Yeah, I've never actually done that build, but
yeah, you should try around with it. It's pretty fun. Downloads. How does this work? What day is it? How do we?
Today's the 23rd.
23rd. Okay, what the fuck is this? 2017? Where the fuck is my replays, dude? Where's 2021? What the hell? Or where's 2021? This is so dumb. Fucking hell, dude. I'm trying to find it in my game, but I can't at all. Alright.
Yeah, I think it's actually in like a reverse.
This is so bugged.
Numerical
I have
order.
these games down here, but I think these are...
Yeah, those ones are 2020.
Yeah, but they're 0. Like, they're not...
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That might just be like the recent ones you like haven't downloaded yet.
Dude. Alright, well, let's see what's going on here. I don't have any idea what's going on. This is me. No, it's not me. Why do I have this game? What a good review. Oh, it's a series game. It's a game I just fucking watched. Alright. Fucking hell, dude. Alright, I have this whole thing to say, but I can't even say it because I don't have a replay to go through. We'll try with my Wraith King, I guess. Let's see if I've done this. Done it with my Wraith King game. I think I probably played it decently, but I want to teach you how to execute how to execute a victory. It's a very linear process in terms of like how to achieve like killing the ancient and like killing high ground. Team fights are also pretty much approached like the exact same way. Especially like once you get to like 7K, 8K, like, you know, even above me, you can look at a game and there's so much nuance to how to execute. And the good thing is that, like, you know, you and I play in a skill bracket where you literally need none of that nuance. So, you know, okay, I have my item here. Here's how you execute high ground. Fuck, I'm dead. Right, this is a similar situation to you, where you have these towers dead. You have this bottom tower dead. You have the enemy safe lane, the enemy mid lane is dead. So like,
right.
How do you play? You know, my team is doing the wrong thing right now. I mean, maybe because 2 are dead, it's fine. But like, they should not be there. It is way too dangerous to try and execute high ground, especially if I'm not there. And then
just kind of like a ram your head against the enemy tower, like push strat. Very familiar with that one.
So like, you know, we have the somewhat of a lead right now, but like it's not that big. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I'm really just trying to get to like. Man, is this just gonna be fucking... Alright, good. It's a 5-on-5 match, right? My goal right now is thinking, I need Aegis. Yeah. And the reason I need Aegis is because to hit high ground, you either need like 3 people dead, maybe 2 people dead, sure. You need a substantial lead, or you need the Aegis.
Right.
So I need the Aegis super bad, probably on this... not on the Wraith King, but more so on like, you know, Ricky or Viper or something.
Mm-hmm. So was this like a Ricky mid offering Viper?
Mid.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, well this is a fortunate event.
Yeah.
But this is not
just
the
like
way
kill
the
them
game
right at their base.
Yeah. It's not the game. It's not the way the game should be. How the game should be is you place Vision up here. You literally 5-man up here.
Mm-hmm.
My Wraith King and maybe Viper if he has a BKB or something, they should be positioned here. If you're trying to kill this tower, you do not ever go back here. Like for the most part, all you do is you just say, I'm gonna wait 1 whole minute, fucking so long, right? I'm gonna kill these creeps, and then eventually, you know, my flood of creeps from my base is eventually gonna make it here because I'm cutting off the supply. So if you want, like, you should never go back to base. Like, never. Almost never. Especially when you're ahead and you have a team fight advantage. You should just play in this triangle position. Your tanky people up front, so you as a centaur should be, like, you know, right here, cutting lanes. They, like, tell your mid to, like, cut, like, around here because it's a little safe. And then you cut here, and then your team just kind of chills, you know, on your high ground. Then, eventually, you're going to kill this tower. And as soon as you see somebody down here, like, you know, an enemy carry or an enemy mid, then you say, how long is it going to take this person to walk to Roshan? And if that answer is like a minute or like 40 seconds or whatever, then you fucking just go do Rosh. So it's a super easy, like simple, it is like so easy to execute. You stay here, you tell all of your idiots on your team, don't fucking go to jungle. Like, if you hit a jungle camp, I'm going to destroy my items. And you just sit here, you cut 2 waves, you wait for somebody, like, you don't even touch this lane. Because, like, optimally, like, this tower might be still up. Like, right here, this carry is probably going to push this lane out to here. And, like, that is a grief play from the enemy pause 1. Because they have absolute no way to get to Rosh. Unless they have boots of travel, too. So, you let this lane push out because it's favorable for you to have this lane be over here. So you spend minimal resources cutting this lane, minimal resources cutting this lane, and if they fight, you are so set up. Your backline is, not only is your backline super protected because they're on high ground and you have vision up here, your background, like, they're all, like, they're just, like, they're so well protected. And then eventually you kill this tower, and then as soon as you see somebody bottom, you just go Rosh. And then with Rosh, you then try and execute a good push. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and get a replay that like shows you that like mechanism, and then we can go over that. But that's how I want you to execute this. Like when you're pushing this wave, you know, or you're pushing mid, or pushing any tower, just cut the wave, and then, you know, eventually wait for Aegis. I think we end up Roshing. Yeah, we end up pinging Rosh. Okay, so let's see how my team Roshes. I'm in a similar position. Like, you know, I'm basically playing Centaur here.
Kind of like the tanky front line.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm picking Roche. Saying this fucking Roche. Like, I don't know if Centaur should be in the pit when you have an Ursa.
Yeah, but just kind of like patrol the area.
Yeah.
Kind of like what the Wyvern was doing. So maybe not as far because I don't have ability.
Okay. I take the cheese. This guy takes stages. I just want to slap this dude right here. This is not a very good replay. Ooh, smack the line. Alright. I can't really... I'll need to have something prepared. Okay, so I'm going to give you homework in your...
Alright.
In your channel. I'm going to specify a little bit, like, give you some information on laning, like how to lane, like a proper or more effective laning strategy than just identifying kill potential. And I'll give you the homework of creep dragging creeps back when it's in a neutral situation. So, or at least trying to think about ways to maintain creep equilibrium. And then the third point is going to be more like, you know, cohesive team play. So like getting your team to take objectives. And there's two, like, you know, the tier 1 tower, the smoke play wraparound to hit the back line. That's like, you know, the biggest like mid-game activity you can do is like use just smoke to to pressure the tier 1 and get the tier 1. You wrap around the back, you put some vision down, and then you just kill it. And then the second thing is going to be how do you execute, you know, like securing map control and then securing Roshan. So then I'll tell you, it's a lot easier on Dire late game. It's a little harder on Roshan. Sorry, on Radiant to get Roshan. But it's a similar concept.
Right.
Keep hero spamming. Your laning is good. Your playmaking is good. Your objective taking is really good. I think if you want to rank up, you just need to play more ranked.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt too.
Because like you don't seem like a what you said 3.4 or so. Is that what you said?
I said 3.8.
3.8. Yeah, you seem like better than that. Like at least 5K. You just gotta tighten up your positioning mid game. I bet your supports probably die a little more than they should because perhaps you're not positioning yourself in the front and really pushing the pace. But it's a fine line. Like maybe you're too up front. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions before we end?
No, I think that's it.
Cool, dude. Yeah, sorry I couldn't find like a really good example. I'm gonna look through an example of, you know, that linear progression of how to take Roshan and then high ground.
Right. Okay.
All right, dude. Hit me up if you need anything.
All right. Sounds good.
See you, bro.
All right. See ya.
GG's.